Today I am going to teach you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. It is easier than it looks, although to get really good it does take a lot of practice. So go ahead and get your Rubik's Cube right now and we can get started. There is a little bit of terminology that we need to get out of the way before we start to solve a Rubik's Cube. I'll be using this terminology and you will get confused if you don't know it. It'll seem a little bit boring while I'm teaching you it, but other tutorials will do the same thing, or they won't do that and you'll get very confused while you're watching it. The first term that you need to know is a cubie. Now a cubie is basically what the Rubik's Cube is made up of. This is a cubie, and this is one of the hardest things for a non-cuber to understand. Most people, when they look at a Rubik's Cube, will see just these colors and think that they have to do one side at a time. Well, this is why that won't work, because instead of just two stickers being yellow and blue, this is one whole piece. So you're going to be solving Rubik's Cube by pieces. The second term is orientation. Now the orientation of a cubie is just the direction that a cubie is facing. So for example, these cubies are misoriented because even though they are in the right spot, they are not facing the right direction. And the same can be done for corners. See, these corners are in the right spot, but they're facing the right direction. So these pieces are misoriented. Permutation is where the cubie is placed on the cube. For example, these cubies are mispermuted because they're in a different spot in the cube that they are supposed to be, so they're mispermuted. However, these are now still permuted the same way, even though they're oriented the wrong way. A face. This is what most people see when they look at a Rubik's Cube. They see 6 colored faces, which is what there are. There are 6 faces. But this is how you don't need to be looking at it. You need to be looking at it in layers, which is our last term. Well, not really last, but layer of a cube is this whole thing right here. This is a layer. It's a group of cubies that can be turned at a time. So this is the layer, that's a layer, this is a layer, all those are layers. There are technically 9 layers on a cube, but we'll be looking at it as if there are 3 layers on a cube. To solve the Rubik's Cube, you will need to use algorithms. Now this is going to sound hard, but it really isn't. For cubing, an algorithm is a memorized set of moves that has a known effect on the cube. So, like for example, this algorithm that you're going to be learning has this effect on the cube. Now you're going to learn these using cube notation, which is how I write down the moves that we perform. So we're just going to jump right into that. This layer is called the U layer, or the up layer. This is called the front layer, or the F layer. This is R, or right. This is L, or left. This is D, or down. And this is B, or back. Now, if you see a capital U by itself, then that means you turn the U layer once clockwise, as such. But if you saw a capital U with a little apostrophe after it, which is known as a prime symbol, then you would turn the U layer once counterclockwise, like that. And if you saw a U with a 2 after it, then obviously you'd turn it twice, like that. So now, scramble your Rubik's Cube.
Trogdor was a man.
So now our cube is scrambled, and we can get started.